The 30-minute pressure reset. What you need to know when work feels messy, difficult, or overwhelming. Hello. This audio is for anyone who is dealing with pressure at work and needs a clearer way to think. You might be a manager, a team leader, business owner, or someone who simply feels caught in the middle of too many demands. This is not therapy. It is not a full training course. It is a practical pause. The aim is simple: to help you step back, understand what is happening, and identify one useful next step. You can listen to this audio straight through, but it will work better if you stop it at the reflection points. Those pauses are where the learning happens. So as we go through this, you may want a notebook, a pen, or somewhere to write a few thoughts down. The first thing to say is, when work feels messy, it is very easy to think the problem is you. You may think, I should be coping better. I should know what to do. I should not be reacting like this. I should have sorted this already. But often the issue is not that you are failing. The issue is that there is too much pressure, not enough clarity, and no clear next step. This is what we're going to work with. So, part 1. What pressure does. Pressure changes the way we think. When we are calm, we can reflect, listen, plan, and make reasonable decisions. But when we are under pressure, our thinking narrows. We become reactive. We can take things personally. We can avoid conversations. We can over-explain. We can try to fix everything. Or we can shut down and do nothing. None of those responses mean we are weak. They are pressure responses. The body and mind are trying to protect us, but they do not always help us respond wisely. At work, pressure often shows up in very ordinary ways. Difficult conversation that builds a team member who is not pulling their weight. A difficult conversation that keeps being avoided. A manager who is unclear. A role that has grown too large. A workload that no longer feels manageable. A decision that keeps getting delayed. A situation where everyone is busy but nobody is properly aligned. And when that happens, we need to pause before we act. Not a long pause, just enough of a pause to ask, what is actually happening here? So let's stop the audio for a moment and write down, what pressure am I carrying at the moment? Not the whole story, just name the pressure. So for example, I am carrying too much responsibility. I need to have a difficult conversation. I do not know what is expected of me. I feel unsupported. The team feels messy. I am worried something will go wrong. I am tired and reacting more than I want to. So just pause the audio and write down your answer. Part 2. The clarity reset. Now we're going to use the simple 3-part question reset. The 3 questions are: what is happening? What am I adding to it? What is the next useful step? So we'll take those one at a time. The first question is, what is happening? This is about facts. Not the judgment, not the fear, not the story, just the observable situation. For example, someone has missed a deadline. The rota is unclear. A staff member keeps reacting badly. The workload has increased. I've not had a proper conversation with someone. The second question is, what am I adding to it? This is not about blaming yourself. It's about noticing the extra layer the mind adds when we are under pressure. For example, they do not respect me. This always happens. I'm going to fail. Nobody cares. I have to fix everything. This proves I'm not good enough. Sometimes those thoughts contain some truth, but under pressure, they can become heavier than the actual situation. The third question is, what is the next useful step? Not the perfect solution, not the whole plan, just the next useful step. That could be write the issue down clearly, ask for a meeting, send one calm message, set out a boundary, clarify who is responsible, ask for support, make one decision. The reason this works is that pressure often makes us think in extremes. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels personal, connected. Everything needs solving now. But clarity usually returns through one useful next step. So again, learning pause 2. Let's stop the audio and answer those 3 questions. What is happening? What am I adding to it? What is the next useful step? Keep your answers short. If you write too much, bring it back to one sentence for each question. So just pausing the audio now. Part 3. Communication under pressure. One of the first things pressure affects is communication. When we are under pressure, we often become less clear. We may become too blunt, too vague, too apologetic, too emotional, or we say nothing and the pressure builds. A lot of workplace problems do not improve because people are not having the right conversation at the right time in the right way. So here is a simple structure you can use. The issue I am noticing is. The impact is. What I think we need next is. That structure keeps the conversation grounded. For example, the issue I'm noticing is that the closed down jobs are not being completed consistently. Or the impact is that the next person starts the day under pressure and standards can slip. Another example, perhaps the issue I'm noticing is that I'm being asked to cover too many things without enough notice. Or maybe the issue I'm noticing is that we are reacting to problems after they happen. The impact is that everyone feels under pressure and small issues become bigger. What I think we need next is a short weekly check-in to look ahead. This kind of language is not aggressive, it's not passive, it is clear. And clear is often kinder than vague. So our learning pause here. Stop the audio and think of one conversation you may need to have. And writing those 3 sentences. The issue I'm noticing is. The impact is. What I think we need next is. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just make it clearer. And we can pause that audio now. So here in part 4, choosing the next move. At this point you should have a clearer sense of what pressure you are carrying, what is actually happening, and what conversation or action may be needed. Now choose one next move. And there are 4 common next moves. The first is a conversation. This is needed when something has to be avoided, misunderstood, or left too vague. The second is a boundary. This is needed when you are carrying too much, saying yes too quickly, or taking responsibility for things that aren't fully yours. The third is a decision. This is needed when something keeps going round in circles, and the lack of decision is now creating more pressure than the decision itself. And the fourth is a request for support. This is needed when the situation cannot be solved by effort alone. Many people stay stuck because they try to use the wrong next move. They try to think when they need to speak. They try to speak when they need to set a boundary. They try to set a boundary when they need support. And they ask for support when they actually need to make a decision. So ask yourself, is my next move a conversation, a boundary, a decision, or a request for support? Again, stopping the audio and choose one. My next move is a conversation, a boundary, a decision, a request for support. Then write down exactly what you will do. Keep it simple and just pausing the audio for now. And so closing, bringing this together, remember the simple reset. What is happening? What am I adding to it? What is the next useful step? When work feels messy, you do not always need more information. Sometimes you need a clearer frame. You need to slow the situation down. You need to separate facts from pressure. You need to decide what the next move actually is. That is the purpose of this short training.